Hey, what's going on? It's Stokely from Sosondole. I'm using the iPhone's voice recorder tool today. Then I'm gonna import it into Spotify for podcasters. So I'm gonna try it that way today because it allows me to read other pages on my phone, do other things on my phone while I'm recording. So that's very helpful. So let me see now. I There's a gentleman called Bryan Johnson who is trying to reverse his biological age. And that means that, he can't go back in time and get younger, but he can bring his health to a point where he has a physiology, a body that's on the level of someone of a younger age. So far, collectively, he's accomplished a reversal of his chronological age of 2.6 years. Not all of him is younger. Some parts of him are 18 years old chronologically. Some parts of him are 70 years old chronologically. Specifically, they mention his skin. And he attributes that to sun damage. So now he's very big on um, sunscreen and skincare. So Bryan Johnson is a tech millionaire. He founded payment processing company Braintree. He sold that company to eBay for $800 million in 2014. He then founded another company called Kernel, I believe. And Kernel, at that company, he now develops a device that measures brain activity during meditation. Currently, he runs a website called the Rejuvenation Olympics, where everyone who is participating in reversing and slowing down the age process can post their health statistics to show how much they have reversed their biological age. His own personal um, adventure into reversing his biological age, he calls it Project Blueprint. Now, as a part of his very disciplined regimen, he has 30 different people advising him, like 30 different health professionals advising him. He spends about $2 million a year. Some sources I average it out to $1.5 million, but one article says it's $2 million a year. So he spends about $2 million a year trying to reverse his chronological age. He consumes. Well, okay, let's start from the beginning. He wakes up at 4:30 in the morning. He exercises for 60 minutes. Supposedly high intensity interval training. He consumes 1,977 calories per day. He's totally vegan, and his breakfast includes broccoli, cauliflower, lentils, mushrooms, garlic, ginger, and nutty pudding, and about an ounce of olive oil, and also cacao, or some people say it's dark chocolate. But if you're eating dark chocolate, it's probably mostly cacao because it doesn't have a lot of sugar and a lot of added stuff in it. That's why dark chocolate is so bitter. He also eats seeds and berries. So he also, maybe outside of breakfast, he consumes avocado and turmeric. As you already know, those are a lot of anti-inflammatory, high in omega-3 fatty acid foods. Dark chocolate is good for, I guess, fighting inflammation. Olive oil is, part of the Mediterranean diet, which is, one of the best diets according to everybody. Um, so he gets a lot of different omega fatty acids from the avocado, from the various nuts that he's eating, and stuff like that. Now, he also puts on sunscreen, like I said. He uses SPF 46. I think most times a regular person just uses SPF 30. He uses SPF 46 to my recollection. Um, let's see here. He also has 7 different creams that he puts on his skin. Some are part of his nighttime routine, and some are part of his, his daytime routine. Um, he especially seems to like CeraVe moisturizers. Um, Aside from that, he wears one of the light therapy hats, that helps your hair prevent hair loss. Uh, and let's see what else it says here. And he takes steroids. He takes human growth hormone. He takes testosterone replacement therapy, and he also takes an estrogen, a female hormone called 17 alpha estradiol, 17 alpha estradiol. So he takes a multitude of different um, hormones. Now, let's see here. What else? He also goes to bed by 8:30 a.m. So he's waking up at 4:30, going to bed at 8:30. What's that? I don't know. Let's see. That's 4 from 24. No, not really. So 8:30 to 12:30. That's 3.5 hours. That's 3 hours. I'm sorry. 8:30 to 12:30 is 4 hours. 12:30 back to 8:30 is another 8 hours. So he's up for 16 hours. Is that right? So there's 24 hours in a day. So 7.5 hours. No. He's up for 16 hours. Okay, so it's 8 hours left. So he gets 8 hours of sleep. Or he at least is in his bed for 8 hours. So, sleep is very important, as we already know. I was a little bit distracted by some pedestrians just now. Now, let me go back to his skin routine. In addition to the sunscreen and the CeraVe moisturizer, he uses inside of his skin routine, vitamin C, vitamin E, B3, something called ferulic acid, and azelaic acid, and something else called tretinoin. Okay, I'm interested in researching what all these things about, because if he's spending $2 million a year and has 30 consultants working with him, there must be some foundation to these things. Now, aside from that, all those things I think sound healthy to me. Skincare is a good thing to have, why not? But that's a little more aesthetic related. The broccoli, the sleeping, the exercising, the omega-3 and the Mediterranean foods, and the turmeric and the anti-inflammatory foods, I can understand all of those things. Those are things that we've spoken about on this platform. at least omega threes. I never really talked about ginger and garlic and turmeric. I don't think I've spoken about those. Cayenne pepper is also good. Um, but oh, I forgot. He also goes through a lot of testing. Every day he measures his body fat. He has a machine that measures his erections through the night. Um, yeah, so he also monitors his health. While he's doing all these things, he's also taking measurements and monitoring what's going on in his body. Um, and his body, his fat, the fat on his body is something from what I've seen, something around 3%. Oh, I forgot one of the most important things. He takes between, based on where you look, it says he takes between 61 to 111 pills per day. Um, he practices intermittent fasting also, and he consumes 70 pounds of vegetables per month. Right? So he's doing a lot regarding his diet. Like he has a strict diet, also takes a lot of drugs. Like I said, he takes hormone replacement and stuff like that. Let me see. What else? Okay, so now to things that I don't think are necessarily health related with Mr. Bryan Johnson. He also uses Botox. He gets fat injections in his face, and let's see what else. He gets injections that help to produce collagen in his face. Let's see what else. Yeah, so oh, he also does microneedling. I've tried some microneedling. I don't know, it didn't really work too good for me. Um, yeah, so that's a few of the things that he's doing, and I think those are pretty cool. Except for the Botox, which I think Botox is a bacteria that basically kills um, something under your skin layer, between the skin and the muscle layer, to relax it so that it doesn't look wrinkled. It basically, from my limited understanding, makes part of the layers of your skin detach in order to get rid of wrinkles. And I don't necessarily. I believe actually what it does is kill the nerves in the muscle to make your face relax. That's what I think it also does. But it can be used in multitude of ways. Botox can be used in different ways, from my understanding, which is limited. Um, I don't think the Botox is a good idea. His body mass index, or his the amount of fat in his body, is something I don't know what measuring stick this goes by, or what um, whatever. I don't know if it's BMI. It's not BMI. It's his fat content in his body is like below 3, and I don't know if that's very good because he because your brain needs fat. Oh, and I forgot to mention he also takes um diabetes drugs. He takes diabetes medicine higher than what is recommended for someone who has obesity. So he's really attacking the fat on his body. I think that's also an aesthetic related effort somewhat. Now we know that sugar is not good for you. It's not good for your pancreas. Um, it's not good for your pancreas mostly, you know. But you can, and he doesn't seem to eat a lot of sugar from what I see here. He eats a lot of berries and stuff like that, but those are um, not readily available. Those are, not high glycemic index based sugars. Those are in the fruit. Those take a little while to break down. I mean, compared to most people, but I guess he's doing it a little more aggressively, very much aggressive, because he's taking a higher dose than someone who has obesity. Um, we know that people have been using Rybelsus, Ozempic, and other weight loss drugs in order to lose weight, and he's taking them, and he's not. he has a fat content of less than 3% of his body. Less than 3% of his body is fat, which is very low. Now, let's see here. What is it? What does it say? What else? Oh, he also uses a mouthwash that has tea tree oil in it. Um, yeah. So those are the notes that I had. So, um, I think he's going a little too aggressive on the diabetes medicine and the Botox, but I think he's doing it not only for life extension reasons, but also for aesthetic reasons. And I think the 17 alpha estradiol estrogen supplements or estrogen therapy that he's taking, I suspect that's for hair loss. I know that the laser therapy hat that he wears, is for hair loss, um, which is really beaming UV rays towards your head. And in my opinion, I've spoken about these hats, I think on TikTok, but I think you would get the same effect from just being out in the sun. And if you're worried about the UV rays on the other parts of your body, then you put on your sunscreen, right? So, hey, I can't criticize. Like I said, he has 30 advisors, but they all work for him. So that doesn't necessarily mean that they're advising him on the best things to do. They're gonna advise him based on what he wants to achieve. So if he tells them, hey, listen, I wanna not only be biologically young, I wanna look young also. So guess what I'm gonna use? I'm gonna do all the stuff to get healthy in my body, but I'm also gonna use Botox to try to make it aesthetically appear that I'm younger. So they're not gonna fight him on that. They're not gonna say, hey, don't do that. He's paying them. He's paying these people. He's spending $2 million a year to look young, whatever. So, Bryan Johnson, I respect what he's doing. I think I have learned some things from what he's doing with his own body, and he's confirmed some things. He's confirmed that it's important to get your omega-3s. He's confirmed that olive oil is a good choice to use in your culinary creations. He's confirmed that turmeric, garlic, ginger, these anti-inflammatory foods, avocado, these things that are high in, well, actually, avocado is high in fat, which is good though. It's nothing wrong with eating fat. It's when your body stores fat. That's the problem. He's attacking that with diabetes drugs to lower his blood sugar content. But I don't think he's eating that much sugar. But I don't know his full thing. So anyhow, his information is available online. He's on Twitter at Bryan_Johnson. His handle is Zero, Zero. So I don't know what that means. But he also has the Rejuvenation Olympics website where people share their age reversing exploits. I think we all can learn something from all of these people. Stay away from sugar. Stick to the anti-inflammatory foods. He doesn't seem to eat any processed foods at all. Matter of fact, he made a following statement or response to someone. I just clipped it from the article where somebody's referring to Bryan Johnson. It says, he said that he thought society's addiction to bad behavior comes from being surrounded by fast food joints, sugary drinks, and the smartphone, which he described as a basically heroin-like device. So he's not a fan of smartphones. He also wears blue light filtering glasses for 2 hours before he goes to sleep, which is something that we've been hearing about recently. blue light is not good for your sleeping. So you see how important sleep is to him. He wears the blue light filter glasses to aid his sleep. Um, he sleeps. He's in his bed for 8 hours a day. For 8 hours, yeah. So he gets about 8 hours of sleep. We're gonna say sleep is very important. He exercises every morning. So yeah, that's it. That's a guy named Bryan Johnson. He's a millionaire trying to turn his life around, literally. Um, and he's doing a lot of things that we've been talking about on this podcast as it relates to um, getting rest, staying away from sugar. You know, um, his device that he uses to measure his erections. Well, the reason why he's measuring his erections is because that's a manifestation of how healthy you are as a man. Um, and it's not just his erections in general; it's when he's sleeping. So I don't know exactly what triggers that action in the brain when you're sleeping, but I don't know. That's just how it works. Somehow your brain ensures that that muscle gets exercised when you're sleeping because you don't exercise it at all anyhow. You don't exercise it throughout the day. You can't walk around with it up all day long. It'll be ridiculous. So the body, God is a genius, So there's a reason why it's up at night for its own survival, for its own health. So if your body's not healthy, then you probably won't have nighttime erections apparently. And that's his understanding. That's his understanding based on his own research, it would appear. Um, is there anything I left out? No, I don't think I left out anything. I think anything else you want to find out, you can find out um, on his Twitter or on the Rejuvenation Olympics website. There are many apparently other campaigns and groups and organizations researching, exploring, and marketing products to reverse your biological age. And I like to visit these pages, not because I have any money to buy anything from them, but I visit their pages to gain knowledge because in the process of trying to sell you a product, they sometimes tell you how you can accomplish it yourself without purchasing their products. One of these places is Novo Labs, Novo Labs. I think that's how it's spelled. And they also have a rejuvenation campaign going on, but it's not one that is vegan. And the Blueprint Project is just Bryan Johnson himself. I don't believe anyone else is really involved in it. It's just his own personal experiment on his body. And that's about it. I don't really have anything else to say about it. I think that's all for now. All right. Thanks for listening.